Okay, so here we have a forever lock. You may have seen these in some recent videos with Bosnian Bill or our friend from Germany, Oliver Diedrichsen. And this is an interesting design. So this is essentially, and Skylar Town will correct me if I'm wrong, this is like a traveling key lock. The idea is, it's the dumbest design from a usability standpoint, one of the worst I've seen in a while, but from a novelty standpoint it's kind of funky. The actual key does not manually, in your hand interact with the pins. It's a plain pin tumbler mechanism, dimple and conventional. The idea is the key is installed in a small hole and then delivered into a drawer. The drawer installs the key into the lock, and if it's the correct key, you can turn and operate the key remotely. This is not the correct key for this lock, but then if we pull it back out, you'll see, we can replace it with the correct key, which comes in these little pill fob bottles. Again, I have no idea who would actually want to use something like this. It's beyond me, but what are you going to do? It's fun to attack and play with. So, we spin this around. This drawer can install the key correctly, and then, boom, that works. It's just, a standard bicycle U-lock. And with the drawer pulled back out, which is a little bit sticky all the time, that's kind of annoying. Good Christ. What a terrible design. And your key is removed. Okay. Now we can see, because this is a dimple lock, there is not a lot of variation in the depths. So it looks like we have maybe 3 or 4 potential depths on these cuts here. So these all look like very deep, except for this one this is probably a 1 cut. I might even say there's only 3. That's probably a 1 cut. These are 3 cut. That looks like a 1 and some 3s. Wow, are there only 2 depths? That would be abysmal. No, let's hope that there's 3, but you'll see something in a minute that shows you what I found earlier when playing with this lock. The tolerances are pretty poor inside in this mechanism. The only security really comes from the fact that you can't stick picks into the lock itself. In fact, the actual box for the forever lock clearly shows you, you can't pick what you can't see. Oh, if there's a traveling key drawer, well, how is anyone supposed to get in there and attack this mechanism? Well, you might be able to do it a different way. You might be able to do it with some aluminum foil tape. How is that possible? Well, here's a key that I took, and you can see I've prepared a deep drilled key. This is actually a key that I have drilled every position to the maximum depth, and then I covered it with some foil. And I did a foil impressioning attack against this lock. Let's see if this key still works at the moment. It's not a very clean attack. Oh, it doesn't like that. Ugh. But this is a working key that was foil impressioned. Now if we can try to get it back out, I'll try to do this attack again right now. So here is our specially prepared key, and something I had to do. Getting this foil covered key into the lock proved so difficult. You can kind of see across here the artifacting of I had to actually shave this key down on all sides just slightly with a grinder. The actual keyway itself in this lock is really tight. The tolerances are really extreme. And once the foil got wrapped around this prepared key, it became really hard to try this attack. So that was something that I had to do. Otherwise, I wound up sticking keys in these. I had to break a few keys apart. It's been a mess trying to get this to work, but I think we're going to get it to work today with this. So here we go. I'm going to try this foil impressioning attack on the forever lock. Now, unlike the other lock that we saw in the first part of this video, actually there's a lot of warding on this key. There's quite a bit of it, and we want to make sure we preserve that warding as much as we can. Otherwise, this foil is just going to get all jammed up in there. I might even take my knife or something, or this little husky head. Try to make sure we get into those wards. And of course, really high-end foil impressioning kits have all kind of patterning tools and, you know, preserving tools, so you can really get in there and properly preserve the contours of the key. So hopefully, there's a couple of dimples and bubbles in here, but hopefully this will work for our purposes. And as always, the hardest part of a foil attack is getting the key in. Now in this case, getting it in the drawer is not a problem. Getting it in the keyway, however, where you usually have to tease it and turn it and fuss about with it, that is much more significant difficulty in this case. You can feel it's not happy about that. I don't know how this is going to work for us. Well, let's see. It's either going to go or it's going to, you know, break. Now you can see, look at the amount of play we have already in this. Oh, son. Bango. Look at that. Now, getting this back out of here, that's going to take some doing. I'll probably, as you can see, when I've tried this a couple of times, I've marred up this finish. You have to kind of get in there and pry it out and hope for the best. Yeah, that's going to take a little while. But let me see if I can get this key back out of here. And you know what, hell, I'll just leave it rolling. You'll see what kind of footage is involved in just prying it back. Oh, I wish I could get a better grip on this. Oh, hey, there we go. So there we are. It munged up the foil pretty good, but you can see that is a pretty decent foil attack. Whew. Yeah, do I recommend it? No. But was it hard to do? No. What did I need? I needed any non-working forever lock key and a few cents worth of foil tape. And a nice, you know, I used a nice drill press making these keys. We'll give you some footage of that we shot at Next Fab. But ultimately, come on. This dimple lock mechanism in here may be hard to access, but it's certainly not hard to actually attack. We're getting some bit walk on this one. All right, so deep.
Kid's like, and I'm out.
This is ugly, but it just might work.